Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 p.m. here on Tuesday, March the 3rd. I'm glad you're with me tonight, and of course we are here every night for you at 9 o'clock with a weather show with expanded weather coverage. So tell all your friends, gather the neighbors, and gather around your streaming device out there. And if you want to comment in, you can do that on the 14 News Facebook page in the comment section here on this stream, and I'll be happy to answer your questions as we get about halfway through the show. What a pretty night out there. We have cloudy skies, or had cloudy skies after some rain this morning. However, we are on alert. Byron hoisted the alert day this morning based on an expanded and upgraded severe storm prediction center outlook, which I'll show in a minute. We are expecting a few strong to severe thunderstorms in the morning, primarily over southern Illinois, and then maybe a few more scattered ones during the afternoon across the entire tri-state. The main threats are going to be hail and damaging winds with any storms that get going. Here's what changed since I talked to you last night, and if you recall, I was saying then that we were probably going to get a few stronger storms, maybe hail or wind, but I was kind of dubious on a first alert weather day. But with the elevated risk out there, Byron certainly called it there with having the alert day for tomorrow. So just a heads up that especially during that morning commute, we may run into some heavy rain and a few thunderstorms out there. It's a pretty big risk area, by the way. It goes all the way to Cincinnati to the east as a level 1, and then it's a little higher risk as you move through southern Illinois and into Missouri. And the reason is that it's a little closer to this boundary that I'm going to show you and the low pressure that'll be moving in. So a little more energy or dynamics in the atmosphere to support severe weather. When we're going to look here now at the hail, wind, and tornado risk, keep in mind that by definition anyway, if you want to think of it like that, a level 1 risk or slight risk usually is in the same area or concurrent with at least a 15% risk of large hail. That would be 1 inch in diameter or greater, or 60-mile-per-hour winds. And so that pretty much lines up with your outlook. I know a lot of you are concerned about tornadoes. Of course, we're always concerned about those if there's a risk. Anytime severe thunderstorms are on the table, generally there is a 2% risk of tornadoes occurring, a spin up or whatever. So not an outbreak, not a widespread thing, and more than likely no tornadoes at a 2% risk. But it's not zero. So, you know, treat severe thunderstorms with the respect they deserve, because sometimes they can surprise you with damaging winds or even a brief tornado. On our hour by hour through the night, we're expecting some rain to develop mainly towards sunrise tomorrow. And the first wave will be centered more to the north of I-64, again, southern Illinois. And then you see additional storms rolling in here right in the middle of the commute, between 7 and about 9. Most of them seem to be pushing more toward the north, which is where that warm frontal boundary, or it's actually stationary, will kind of wobble back down our way. And that'll provide a channel or a path for these storms to take. By tomorrow afternoon, again, a few storms possible, late afternoon, so 3 to 6, a school release time and so forth, and then those move out. Wednesday overnight, pretty quiet, and then we have another round of storms possible on Thursday, again, early in the morning, right around 5, 6 a.m., and those will push through. At this point, we're not in an outlook zone for severe weather on Thursday. But rain, it looks like a pretty good bet. And then on Thursday night and Friday, we kind of dry out. It's going to get a little breezier on Friday, and that's when that temperature will shoot up close to 80 degrees. So it's going to be a record high on Friday, and that will then set the stage maybe for more storms going into Saturday. So we put another alert day there. The rain potential has bounced around on our models. At this point, in the areas that get the thunderstorms, you could be looking at 1 inch or more of rainfall. Every place else, maybe between 1/2 inch and 1 inch, which will be beneficial. We'd like to get about 3 out of all these systems over the course of the week. After we hit 79 or 80 on Friday, we begin a slow retreat We have another cold front that will come through here sometime between Friday night and Saturday. So we've put an alert day on Saturday, maybe a few strong storms then too as we make that transition. And then you see by Sunday morning we're down to 49. Nowhere near the normal low of 33. And even our low temperatures are, for the most part, at least through Saturday, above the normal high, which is 52 for this time of the year. Right now we have 58 at Evansville, even though I'm showing you the Owensboro background there. It's prettier than the camera shot we have right now in Evansville. The current temps around the area range right around 55 to 60 for the most part. A little cooler up in Mount Carmel, Fairfield at 51. And as we have this frontal boundary kind of sagging back in, those temperatures are going to fluctuate quite a bit along that boundary. We hit 74 today. That's not a record, but it's close. The record is 78, I think it is, 77 or 78. And we picked up 1,200 this morning. So that is, 5,500, about a half an inch of rain over the last 2 days. And that helps, every little bit kind of chips away at our rainfall deficit. For the month, at least for today, get a good look. We have a green bar in here, meaning we have a very small surplus of rain, about 1,600s. But we have to get through the whole month yet, so we could easily lose ground again. You can tell where that boundary is, that stationary front. It's right here where you have that line of showers and storms. And it earlier today did trigger some severe thunderstorms up around Indy and Champaign, Illinois. And then what's going to happen is it'll kind of, it's like, think of a jump rope, and you do this and you get those kinks that go down the line. As that low pressure moves in, that's exactly what it's going to do. So any place we get a little kink or movement in that boundary, that's where we will have the storms firing up. And you see 3 o'clock tomorrow. Then as the low gets closer, we have a little more focus there for some thunderstorms early Thursday. The low then lifts out, at least the first one does. The second one sitting back here, that's going to move in with the cooler air on Friday night and Saturday. So more storms, or at least more rain then, and possibly some thunder overnight going into Saturday morning. Sunday, we dry out, and we will stay dry through Sunday and Monday. Southerly winds, though, will keep that temperature up. And then we have more rain potentially on Tuesday next week going into Wednesday. That's a long loop there on the GFS model. I usually cut it off at 7 days, but I wanted to at least give you the benefit of seeing what's out there, which is more wetter for next week. The GFS is advertising, 2 to 3 inches of rain, which is in line with what we've been telling you. For comparison, we'll look at the European now, and it too showing some rain moving in late Friday night, early Saturday, maybe some thunderstorms here as that cold front bears down, and then dry on Sunday and Monday, followed up by clouds and then some rain moving back in for the middle of next week. So at least at that glance, the European and the GFS are both very, very close in their solution here for the next few days. So that gives us confidence in the rain chances, and rain amounts as well are pretty close too. For tonight, we will drop down to 56 degrees, and then tomorrow we hit 72 with some scattered showers, and a few severe thunderstorms will be possible. Over the next 7 days, then, we added another alert day on Saturday. This is primarily late Friday night into Saturday, whenever that cold front comes through. We're still, 3.5 days out now, so that could change a little bit in the timing. And just a reminder that daylight saving time will kick in at 2 a.m. Sunday, so you'll want to move your clock forward. If you're still moving clocks, I think the phones do it for us now, but if you have an old-timey clock on the wall, you'll have to move it up, or your time won't be right. For the temperature outlook, through the 17th of March, we're expecting cooler air to start to filter back in, and although it's not showing it, wetter than normal weather too. We have Gilbert the pig again. We have an issue, technical issue with our pictures over on the website. I saw all the ones that you guys submitted yesterday, but today when I went in to download a couple, I couldn't get in. So either you know something that I don't, maybe I've been locked out of the system, but more likely it's a server end problem. So anyway, we'll give Gilbert the pig his due double appearance on here. I mean, it is a pig, right? You know, I mean, we got dogs and cats, and I love both, but pigs you don't see very often, so we'll savor the moment here. All right, let me see what you guys want to know. Okay, well, had us up here and then it disappeared on me. Let me try this. Don't you love technology sometimes? It's like out to get us. Okay, well, I know I had us in here. All right, bear with me for a moment. I know you like to see me struggle a little bit. I'm going to start tap dancing here in a minute if I can't find. Well, where in the world are we? I guess I could go to 14 News. That would probably make sense, wouldn't it? Use the search. Oh, there we are. Okay. Well, how about that? Watching an elderly gentleman fumble with his phone. That is streaming entertainment at its finest. Okay, now I have your questions, and I'll be coherent as best I can. Cheyenne Hammonds is on here. Leanne Hardy wants to know what she missed. Well, you missed me trying to work my phone. Other than that, we're going to have some thunderstorms tomorrow morning, and again during the afternoon. A few may contain hail or damaging wind. Chris Smith, going to be a great week. Love the warm temps. No heat needed for the house this week. Well, that's true. What time will severe weather start in McLeansboro, Illinois, over in Hamilton County? J.D. Rapp. It would be early. If we're going to get it, I would say between 4 a.m. and about 9 a.m. Thunder Buddies. Well, I like that. Leanne Hardy. Maybe that's what we'll call our little society here that watches the stream show every night. Let's see. Shelley Allman, good evening. Jeanette Rice, thanks for the advance warning. Well, that's what we're all about. That's why we do these alert days. Angie Wampler, here in Vincennes, heard thunder last night early this morning. You know, I did too. It kind of woke me up briefly. How much rain for Morganfield, Kentucky tomorrow? Karen Duckworth. You know, based on what I showed you, it wouldn't surprise me to see half an inch or more of rain. Shelley Alma, late jumping in. What time we're looking for storms in Evansville tomorrow? In the morning, during that morning commute time. So roughly 6 to 9 a.m.-ish. Okay. Oh, Cheyenne and Leanne are thunder buddies. Well, that's a good idea. Does that mean you call each other and support each other when we get bad weather? I like the concept. Maybe that's something we can market here. We'll get some merch for you. Let's talk a little bit in the science corner about thunderstorms, and in particular thunder and lightning. You know, lightning, of course, is deadly, and you want to be indoors if we have lightning in the area. I know most of you are probably indoors anyway, but you know, it can sneak up on you. You're out playing golf or working in the garden or whatever. Even a strike, you know, a cloud 10 miles away can generate a lightning strike that would hit 10 miles away. So you got to be careful. Thunder travels through the atmosphere at the rate of about 1 mile every 5 seconds. A mile is what, 5,280 feet. And so you can do the math on that, but it basically moves at about 1,000 feet per second. And that's dependent on the temperature. Did you know that thunder, the sound of thunder, actually moves faster when the air is warmer? Kind of counterintuitive. You would think that colder, denser air would be a more efficient transmitter of sound, but it's the other way around. And because of that, you can guesstimate the distance you are from a lightning strike, assuming they're just, you know, isolated. If it's, you know, the whole sky's going crazy, this is harder to pull off, but you can experiment with it. And if you see a flash of lightning, you begin to count. For each 5 seconds you get to, that storm is about a mile away. And, you know, that's a good way to gauge whether the storm is coming toward you or moving away if you're not looking at, say, radar scope or looking at the storm itself. After about 10 miles, the sound of thunder will dissipate or attenuate in the atmosphere, and you can't hear it most times. There are occasions where you can hear thunder more than 10 miles away, but for the most part, it dissipates. And that's then what we would call heat lightning. Heat lightning has nothing to do with heat, even though we often will see it in the summer when it's kind of hot out or has been hot. Heat lightning is simply lightning reflected from a thunderstorm either over the horizon or too far away in order for you to get that sound of thunder. Thunder can take on different qualities, right? Sometimes we get rolling thunder, sometimes we get these big cracks, sometimes it's a boom and it's done. And that has a lot to do with how the atmosphere is stacked. Keep in mind that a lightning bolt has temperatures of about 50,000 degrees, which is 5 times hotter than the sun. And the air rapidly expands when that electrical charge heats up the atmosphere, and then it collapses. And it's that collapse that creates a shock wave that makes the sound of thunder. And as that sound then radiates out, it sometimes is louder than others. If we have a temperature inversion, and that is to say we have warm air over colder air at the surface, the sound will bounce off of that. Think of a room with a low ceiling. And so you get more of a rolling or rumbling sound because it can move along at a greater distance. It's being squeezed down and compressed toward the earth. It also makes it a lot louder. If we don't have an inversion in place, the sound of thunder is allowed to dissipate upward as well, and therefore it's not quite as intense. And that volume of sound, again, is highly dependent on your distance from the lightning strike and also the composition of the atmosphere. So that is pretty much how it all works. I think I showed you the same graphic twice. But anyway, they had different titles here in our computer. But that's a little science lesson for you there on the physics of sound and thunder. Carolyn Lovelace, watching from Hobsop. Will we get hit in the morning? Yes, it's possible. You will wake to thunder and rain. Cheyenne Hammond says Leanne comes to her house so they aren't alone in the storms. Well, that's a good idea. Donnie Goldman, let it rain. All right, well, we need the rain. You are right. It would be great if we could just get our 3 inches of rain and then from that point forward stay on track here for the remainder of the spring season, the planting and growing season. The farmers are going to want a little gap in there where it's dry enough to get the equipment out on the fields and do the planting, and hopefully that will occur too. That's all I have for you tonight. On 14 News at 10, I should have some new data on the arrival time of tomorrow morning's storms. That typically comes in between now and about 10, so we'll check that out. In the meantime, stay safe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on 14 News at 10.